Hey everyone, Dan the True North Motos. Today we're going to go over the differences on the all-new 2025 Beta 300 RX. So this bike got a ton of changes for the 2025 model year. I own a 2024 Beta 300 RX. I've done a ton of changes to it. We're going to talk about differences between stock and stock on these bikes. So in 2025, smaller tank. It went from a 2.5 to a 1.8 gallon tank. So much smaller tank. You do have really good access for your spark plug and everything there. Good for moto and stuff like that, but kind of bad for trail riding if you're going to use this bike for that. The exhaust system is completely different. The expansion chamber is different. The rear muffler is different. It's a much smaller circumference and shorter. You still have the 38 millimeter keen carb. These come jetted from the factory. At least this one did. Very, very rich. So it had a 180 main jet and a 45 pilot in it. And it was on the third clip on the NZ01 needle, I believe. I'm going off memory there. So we've leaned this thing out quite a bit to make it kind of clear out and ride correctly in our area here in Washington. So another big difference on the 25 model, you have the new aluminum subframe with the 3-piece rear plastic set. So that's just like the 2024 450 RX model. You also got the new rear brake master cylinder with a higher fluid capacity. That's going to help with brake fade. They went away from the aluminum foot pegs and went to the steel foot pegs on the 25 model. I actually like these better. They're stronger. I think they have better grip. Hold you on the bike while you're riding. Another big change for the 25 model is the new radiators. So as you can see on these, they have the concave part to where you get full steering out of it. You no longer have a nut. You can see down there, it's just the washer and the button head bolt. So you get full steering out of the bike without doing any mods on the radiators. On my 24, I actually put these radiators on my 24 bike to make sure that they would fit. I also did an aluminum subframe swap. So you can swap to an aluminum subframe on the older generation bikes. If you have any questions about that, ask me in the comments or shoot me a message. I can set that up for you if you want to make that change. The map switch got moved from up top here to the bar pad. You no longer have a blue front fender. It's all new graphics, red front fender. This is a 5-speed transmission. That is the biggest change and the biggest question that I have about this bike. I want to put some time on it. It's definitely got a taller first, second gear. Gearing is 1448, which is the same as the 24 model. The axle blocks in the back are different. I need to verify this, but it looks like you can switch these, and it might be like the KTM model bikes to where you can just adjust your chain for 2 teeth difference in gearing by just flipping the axle blocks. I haven't verified that, but they are different than the 24 model. Seat is different. It's still a gripper seat. It still tears you up if you're sitting down. So these bikes definitely promote standing, which isn't a terrible thing. But as you can see on my bike, I changed my seat out because I do a lot of trail riding on this thing. All right, one other change that I forgot to mention that we have to add to this video. You do get the new KYB rear shock on this that came on the 450 RX. So this is a 50 millimeter KYB shock that would come on like Yamaha 4-strokes. Another couple changes on these bikes. Excuse me. We got a larger rear axle. I think this applies to the race editions as well. You can just do a spacer swap if you have an extra set of wheels or you want to throw an 18-inch rear wheel on this bike for trail use. Another thing that changed on the radiators that I didn't cover is there's no longer the little spigot that comes up that was used for a thermostat on the other bikes. So that they took that out of the radiator where you can see it on mine. It has a little blue cap on it. So you also no longer get the fancy silicone colored hoses on the 25 RX like you did on the 24. So that's another thing that I noticed. Different exhaust porting, more power. I have to look into to see if this stator will support any type of light. I know that the 24 will because it's the same stator as the race editions, but I don't know on this new bike. So we'll be looking at that and making another video. But those are all the changes that I've noticed so far on this 25 300 RX. Excited about a lot of these changes. Have a lot of questions on some of them. We're going to hopefully go out and ride with this customer and be able to switch bikes and test out and make another video about, you know, the overview of how I feel about the changes and everything and how this bike works. I think, you know, them Beta selling it as a motocross bike, it is definitely staged a lot better for motocross right now than the 24 model. But if you're trying to use the bike as a woods weapon, hare scrambles and moto, you know, some of these might negate it a little bit away from that. But testing will tell. Just wanted to make a quick video going over all the changes on this 25 bike though.